Hi guys, and welcome to the illustration of Cusco. I'm Chevalier, glad to have you with me. Cusco is the best nation to form the Incas, mainly due to their position. No, basically, they are the best country due to their position, location, and leader. As you can see here, they have an excellent leader and an excellent heir as well. So basically 546 and 536, they are both excellent. The also important thing is that this guy is 27 and this guy is 0 years old. So basically this guy is gonna live and is gonna die about the same time that this guy becomes of age. So it's basically a smooth transition. It's gonna allow you for perhaps what? It's gonna live for, let's say, 50 years at least for of decent amount of points basically. The reason I'm saying that this guy's gonna die soon is because he's currently a leader, so he's an excellent leader, but it means he's gonna die soon. As you can see, he has both shock value, a huge amount of shock value, decent amount of maneuver, but the siege value is also important because these are level 1 forts, level 1 forts. They do have some level 2 forts, but there's only 3 of them, so they're not that important. And as you can see, basically they are still, except for Chimu, they still have just 1 fort per country. So you can just plant your troops there, forget about them. Another important thing, on your capital you also have a fort, and this fort is in the mountains, which gives you local defense of plus 25%, which is gonna give you a pretty big take, like what, 25%, that's 2.5, that's gonna give you about 38 days, I think, which is really gonna basically make sure that you won't lose that capital of yours anytime soon. Now, for the position, it's a good position because they can conquer both south and north. Although north is kind of long, in my opinion, because you want to move up here into the Aztecs as soon as possible. It's still a good position. I will probably want the Huila position if they have the same amount of points, development, mana points, generation, development, and etc, etc. But this position is also good. And the what I said, location, points, and also ideas, for example. But yeah, these are the main reasons that it's a really good place to play to form the Incas if you want to form them. Now let's look at our tabs, and then I'll talk about the cheeky way to basically conquer all of this really cheaply. Or I should say it really cheaply. Really cheap. Now let's go for the states first because you want to get some advisors. Unfortunately, as the Cusco, you won't be able to get any advisors. At most, you'll be able to basically just do this and do this, and then you might get some amount of points, admin points, depot points, etc. Although I recommend getting for the merchant guilds, getting the they need you still can get it because you need influence over 25, so still can take it. So I recommend taking the ducats, even if you have the ability to take depot points, because depot points are gonna be useless to you, at least in the early game. Now, as you can see, you cannot take any ministers, and if you switch over here, you'll see that you don't have cash for your ministers, and look at it, you are broke. If you actually maximize your force limit, you're gonna be broke, and so no actual advisors for you. It's a good stuff that you actually have a good leader. So you'll gonna go for this. We already talked about the leaders. Now let's go for diplomacy. For rivals, you're gonna go with this two, Gola, which is this, and Wanka, which is this. You get missions on both Wanka and Kola, if I'm not mistaken. If you see here, you get to conquer Wanka basically. Beforehand, you have the conquer Wanka. I checked myself. You'll have to conquer Wanka and conquer Makaya. So you still had CPs on whoever you wanted to go first. Now, we finished diplomacy. As for allies, we'll talk about who you should ally when we talk about the actual strategy of attacking or not, We're talking about cash. There's nothing much to say here. You're really strapped for cash, so don't try to waste it. As for trade, you have only one active trade node which you're gonna collect from. There's nothing much to say here. If we go for the TI, as it goes, you'll see that mainly you'll probably just take Coiba. You're probably gonna push from Coiba into Lima, then from Lima into Panama. It's actually gonna go automatically into Lima, and you're probably gonna collect in the Caribbean in the late game. But yeah, you're gonna collect first in the Lima trade node, then you're gonna collect in the Caribbean trade node. You're already collecting the Lima trade node, and in the late game you're gonna collect in the Caribbean trade node and push wherever you can push or wherever you have trade power. But yeah, in the Panama you're gonna push automatically. Mexico you're gonna push automatically. Oh nope. In the Mexico trade node you have to actually, yeah. So in the Mexico trade you're gonna have to push by yourself with what's it called, with a merchant. Sorry. But yeah, it's gonna take a while before you can actually reach the Aztecs and conquer the Aztecs. But yeah, it's gonna take you a while. Let's go for TI again and go to the tech tree, the technology. Sorry, not tech tree. I'm thinking about something else, unfortunately. What am I thinking about? Right. World of Warcraft. Sorry. Now, let's look at the tech. You'll basically rush admin tech whenever possible. Try to basically get the -5%, at least the first -5%, and try to basically stash as many admin points as you can. Then take the tech when you can take it. Try to maximize your waste, to minimize your admin points waste, because it's gonna cost you a huge amount of points to get a take. Right now it's gonna cost you 1.5k basically, so that's a lot. Now for Diplotech, you don't care, leave that here, don't take any extra techs, they can go fuck themselves. As for military tech, take it as soon as possible. You won't be able to use the modifier, to be honest, because you have so many points, so many more points generated that they're basically gonna fall behind, and you still need the tech, so you won't get the modifier in time enough to justify waiting for them to basically take the tech. It's more important for you to take the tech so you can conquer faster, if you understand what I mean. It's not justified for you to wait. Now, for the ideas tab, Inca have decent ideas, although they are not that good as the Manchu, for example, or some other warring nation, but they are okayish. No, lower than okayish, but I'll say that they're a 6. For example, with the Manchu ideas, which I consider some of the best ideas for conquering, at an 8, basically, at 8-9ish. But yeah, so you have the land forces modifier, which is good in the early game, good in the medium game, shit in the late game, and we have the idea cost, which is decent, although not that decent, and we have the leaders without outkeep, which is that's all I have to say. It's no. The prestige is again it's kind of useless, to be honest. The development cost is again useless. The national tax modifier is decent. Same goes for this tier. It's decent plus basically the manpower modifier and the discipline is good. The build cost is shitty, not shitty, but let's say 6 as well. Really like long 6. Like I give you some points from my belly button, right? And the next one is production efficiency, which is decent as well, the same as the tax modifier. And the last one is the land attrition, which is, in my opinion, kind of bad, although it has some uses. But you won't actually fight, let's say, Russia, so yeah, it's not that useful to you. Now let's go for national ideas. Your first idea that you have is gonna be exploration. As you can see, you don't have the maritime idea and the commerce ideas, or whatever the fuck they're called. Basically, these ideas here for naval stuff. Mainly because I think you don't have the tech. You don't have the tech to build ships, so you don't have the ideas, or you have to westernize to get them. One of these two. I really don't know. But when I played this last time, you actually had ideas. Now, for ideas, you go for exploration, then expansion, then a military idea. The reason you're gonna get a military idea is because you want to fight against the Europeans, most likely, to get their land, so you might actually want to have some good ideas. Recommendation would be to get offensive ideas. They give you half and half, although quality ideas seem even better. Depending on how big you are, you might not need the extra force limit from the Grand Army idea. From the Grand Army, what should I call it? Yeah, from the Grand Army, basically. So go for quality, or the offensive is also good, but I recommend going for quality. Now, for the fourth idea, I really don't know what I should take. I should probably humanist ideas. You have the minus 10% cost from your religion, so you should probably go for humanist ideas to basically make sure that you can hold those lands. Another option is to go for admin ideas, which is more focused on centralization, because you get that extra coring minus 25% coring cost, and extra technology, extra states from the max, which is really good in this patch. The extra states allow you to have more cash. Now let's look at this like the next step. The ideas are really simple. Exploration to get more colonists, expansion to get more colonists, and get CBs for oh, that's actually excellent. That's new. I haven't seen this so far. The state maintenance minus 25% is also excellent. This is actually new, right? Yeah, it's new. I haven't seen this so far. I haven't played any colonial nations anytime. Actually, I played a little bit of Spain, but of Castile, but that was for my own entertainment. I didn't finish this idea. But yeah, it's actually a really good way to actually finish this. It really gives more power to the colonial nations. Basically, the state maintenance when you finish this allows you to get more cash, although you won't need actually that much cash, but you know what I mean. It's good in the mid game. Although the way the game is played right now with the building toll, it's actually gonna be even more than decent. But if you have the colonies, you're gonna have a decent amount of cash from the colonies. So yeah. Now, as I said, these ideas are the standard ideas for Africa, not an African nation, for an American nation, basically. Either for the Aztecs, for example, or for the for the Cherokee, for example, or the Ironco. So they are the same ideas for those guys as well. Now, for the next tab, which is missions and decisions, you can actually form the Empire of the Incas if you actually hold Cusco, Cajamarca, Huancavelica, Huanco, and Puno or Tiahuanaco, or Chancan or Quito. Let's see here. Cajamarca is here. You can see it. The next one is Huancavelica and Huanco. Huanco and Huancavelica. Huancavelica is... where the fuck is Huancavelica? Huancavelica is here. And the last one is Puno, Tianjuco, or Chancan and Quito. Puno is here. No, where's Puno? Puno is here. Or Cuanjito, and the last one was it Chancan or Quito. So Quito or Chancan. Chancan is Chacoya, Cajamarca, really Chancan, basically here. So you have to hold their capitals. This guy's capital, 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 and that's about it. You don't need anything in the south. Yeah, also you'll get some flavor events like this one here. As you can see, you get some Diplotech, some points, some mana points, some cash, etc. Favorite events basically. You can actually check the tab. Actually, let's go for Cusco and see. Oh, they don't have. Yeah, events. They have the fall of the Chanca and the rise of the Cusco. Cusco, the naval world. You get prestige. You get modifiers for ships, for example. Basically, reconstruction of Cusco complete. You get what you get. Yeah, for the rest of the campaign, you get yearly prestige and yearly legitimacy plus 05. Reconstruction of the Cusco complete. The Machu Picchu, you get stability, or you get a year modifier, yearly modifier for legitimacy. Modifier that lasts for the rest of the campaign for legitimacy. And for the missions, you have the Conquer Wanka basically. That you can actually see here. Actually, let's go. Yeah, Conquer Wanka. I already took it myself. Yeah, you can get the Conquer Wanka. That's the only mission that you actually can get. Although you might actually get another mission on the Makaya as well. Should be scripted. Or is it because you have... No, it's not. It's scripted. It should be scripted because it's not the same culture as your primary culture, which is Quechua. Alright, yes, should be right. Quechua. But yeah. Let's go next. Stability and expansion. Again, boost stuff. There's nothing much to say here. Per exhaustion, reduce when it's necessary. Try not to waste your points. Pretty much same standard stuff as any nation. This is just mainly a stats panel and nothing more. Religion wise, you are the Inca religion. And you can actually take religious reforms if you have the what's it called, authority, religious authority. And you gain the religious authority by basically reducing autonomy. And you get a decent amount of points by reducing autonomy and due to your development. As you can see, you get 0.6 due to your development. Although the main way you should probably do this is basically just reduce autonomy. And we'll talk about how to maximize this when you actually attack. But yeah, you have some reforms here, which is manpower recovery speed, colonists, illegitimacy, moral of armies, core creation cost. The order you should take this is colonist, core creation cost, manpower, morale, and legitimacy. Then you can reform the religion once you actually have a border with European nation, or yeah, if you have all the religion reforms done and have a border with European nation, or have a total of 18 tech levels. So whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Although having full authority gives you... it doesn't give you, right? No, it doesn't give you. I thought they gave you some bonuses, but no. As you can see here, the Inti have a decent amount of modifiers, cap modifiers. Basically, you get tons of true fate, monthly autonomy change, which is quite decent to be honest. And you get the local missionary strength plus 2%, which is the stuff that pagans have, as with any other pagans. And as for heretics, are basically all the other pagans, like either animist, fetishes, optimists, Nathal, Maya, Norse, Tengri, etc. And the heathens are basically the rest. The other accepted religions, basically. Now, although you have accepted, yeah, you know what I mean. For the military here, you should probably maximize your force limit. You cannot build horses because you don't have you're not the Western tech, for example. You cannot build horses, so you're probably gonna have to rely on infantry, which is really sucks to be honest. But that is the way it should be. And that's about here. You might want to kill this fort if you want to. I already talked about this, if you want to kill your fort or not. It's up to you. Or did I say it? I don't think I said it right. If you have problems with cash, you might want to destroy that fort here in Cusco. Although it's not recommended. If you really have problems with cash and you cannot maintain your troops, just demolish it. It's just it's still gonna be just one fort, so it's not like it safeguards any regions. although it safeguards the passage from north to south basically, but they can still go through Nazca and Kamana, so it's not that great. But yeah, this is all for this tab. Remember, you have an excellent general. Try not to keep him in charge all the time because he's gonna die faster, and you don't want that. And we already talked about estates. Now let's talk about the cheeky way to annex stuff. Now the way you do this is quite cheeky, quite really cheeky. Now it's quite simple, but it's gonna take you some time to get used to. Now the way you do this is you declare war on Kola. Let's say you ally the Pakahanes, right? Right now the Pakahanes want all of this land here, all of this shitty land, right? So you declare war on the what's it called here? What's this guy's name? The Kola, and you basically they usually actually ally this guys here, and you force feed the Pakahanes this lands here and this lands here, right? Then you ally this guy, break the alliance with this guy, ally this guy, then force feed this guy the lands from Pakahanes. Right? They should take you, I don't know, 7 years because you have to wait for the truce. When I played it, it was easier because you don't have to actually wait for the truce to basically pass, and that would have been easier for you. But it's decently difficult right now because of the truce timer that when you actually break the alliance. So you feed this guy this lands, then you actually ally this guy and feed this guy this lands here. Then you release the Pakahanes, you feed all of these lands to the Charka, and you actually basically vassalize, attack the Charka. Sorry, when you actually, my bad. When you actually attack the Pakahanes with the help of the Charka, you take some lands. You basically take these 2 claims for yourself, or on what provinces you have claims on. Then you basically attack, release Pakahanes and attack the Charka for the Pakahanes cores. Then you attack the Pakahanes for the you attack the Charka for the Pakahanes cores. Which I should probably give them some names. So let's actually recapitulate so that you'll understand. You basically feed the Pakahanes, Kola, and Kalkui. Then you feed Charka, the Pakahanes, and you take some province for yourself so you can release the Pakahanes. Once you release the Pakahanes, you attack the Charka for the Pakahanes cores. Then you attack again Charka for the claims that they have on the for the claims that the Pakahanes have on the Charka, if you know what I mean. Because if you actually do this and you have them as your rival, for example, they may actually basically fabricate claims on them. So yeah, you do this so that you won't lose any diplo points. This is the cheap way, although to set up things is gonna take you some time. The secondary option is basically a simple vassal feed. Like basically you take over, you take these 2 lands from the Kola for yourself, and you feed this land to the Pakahanes. Then you fabricate claims. You might want to core Puno though. We'll talk about how you should form the Incas. Then you actually form fabricate claims on the Kola and on this land that you fed to the Pakahanes. Or you might actually declare war on Kola without actually calling the Pakahanes. It's up to you how you want to do it. Then you actually fabricate claims on the Pakahanes, you take this province from the Pakahanes, then you basically go in from feeding to feeding to feeding to feeding to feeding until you have a huge vassal that you can actually integrate. Again, it's up to you. Back in the day when you didn't have the truce, when you killed an alliance, my way was really fast. Basically in a couple of wars, successive wars, that would be what, 6 years, let's say 2 years per war, you'll probably have a huge vassal that you can use. Right now with the truce timer that you have, the 15 plus, the 15 years at max, or the 5 years when you break an alliance, it's gonna be a while until you do this. that is the cheeky way. If you want to do the cheeky way, it's up to you. Again, also, the reason why you're doing this is because you don't want to waste admin points. One, you want to use Diplo points to annex, and two, because once you take some lands, if you actually raise the autonomy, you're gonna lose religious authority. So you don't want to lose religious authority. So basically, when you actually fully annex this and you form the Incas, instantly you're actually gonna get tons of religious religious authority by reducing the autonomy when you're actually in your integrated lands. That is gonna actually increase the amount of the speed that you actually get religious reforms. That's why it's a good way to actually do the deploy annexation stuff. Now for the north stuff, repeat the same stuff on the south side if you want to be cheeky. Again, if you don't want to be cheeky, here it's a bit more complicated because there are many nations here and it's hard to feed all of them land. Here I recommend going for the standard stuff. So basically, take this, fabricate claims, attack, calling allies for example if you want, etc, etc, etc. This is more stable and more for small players, basically, for medium level players. And I said it again, with this new patches, it's kind of hard to do the cheeky thing because same place there are too many truces and it's gonna take you too much time. But it's still possible. At least in the south side it's still possible. In the north side it's a little bit difficult. Now let's talk about your movement into attacking. To be more specific, let's talk about the first attacks. First attacks should be on the Wonka with the mission. Let's see, let's actually wait a little bit and see what kind of alliances they get. So now let's look at who wants lands from who and see basically who are they allying. Let's actually wait and see how the game develops. So yeah, so this guy's basically allied the Chalqui. So you can basically, if you attack them, you're gonna suffer the wrath of the Chalqui. If you actually attack this guy here, he has an alliance with the Chabopaya. Chabopaya being this guy's here. So they have a small army. You don't actually need to call in the Hulua if you get alliance with the Hulua, for example. You don't need to call them in. Right? So yeah, your first target should be this guys. You can actually declare war. Fine. They're allied with Wonka and Hulua. So what you can actually do they want lands? No, they don't want lands, so you can actually attack them. Although they might actually want lands once they're at war with them. Are they the same culture? No, they're a different culture. They're Cueca, as mine. So yeah, you should probably attack, you should attack Wonka once you have the full amount of troops. And then basically just quiet your armies. These are mountains, so you're gonna suffer some stuff here, unfortunately. But yeah. Also, as for alliances, the recommended alliances are with Chimu. The reason I'm telling you to take an alliance with Chimu, you should probably get an early marriage, is because you will move your troops. You'll move your troops like this, basically your lands like this, right? You'll take Wonka, and you're gonna take Lima. Right, and let's see who has better ideas. Both has Andean ideas and you have Albanian ideas. For defense, and you have legitimate extensions. So basically go for this guy, for Lima. Right, this dialogue with Quito. Remember, Quito is the really powerful guy from the north side. So you take Wonka, you keep Wonka for some time, then you attack Lima with the help of Chimu, because you actually want those lands here, and you give them some lands from the Quito, perhaps this province here and here, for example. Right, so you take those two lands and feed them to the Chimu, and you take lands Lima for yourself. Then you release Lima and you actually feed them to feed Lima lands from Wonka. Remember, while you're actually attacking Wonka, fabricate some claims on the Huyula, so you can actually attack the Huyula and the ally of Champopaya. Now, these are your first two steps that you're going to do on this side. After you're on this side and you actually attack, you actually go for the Wanka, then the Lima, then the Huyula, you're basically gonna have a truce. Either if you actually kill your alliance with a Chimu, so you can actually take over the Chimu, or if you actually do some stuff here. Although, to be honest, for a new player, I recommend just wasting development points. If you have provinces that have, like, let's say 3 development, you should just take them. Like for 9 points here, it's a waste of time to lose that much time to basically wait for the truce to be over to attack this next guy. So my recommendation is from Huyula to take all of their lands. On this two, you're gonna have claims, and this one just take it for free. Then move next to this against this guy here and fabricate a claim here. To be honest, you should probably take this province here as well, because they have a fort, and so you won't have any trouble. So basically take this as well, then fabricate claims on this guys, then attack Quito, then attack Chimu. Let's actually concentrate. So you attack this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then you attack this guy as well, Cajamarca, once you form claims on him. While you wait for the... Actually, is this possible? Yeah, you can build a spy network beforehand, so you should probably just... You have 3 diplomats, just form a spy network while at war. So build a spy network against this guy, build a spy network against this guy, then declare war on this guy, then start building a spy network on this guy. So you have the right amount of the spies there to basically fabricate claims, so it should be easy for you. I'm saying this because you want to focus on the north side, so when you have the extra colonists, you can actually start colonizing north into the Aztecs. We'll talk about this later on. But yeah, so let's repeat this again. Huanca, Lima, Huyula. From Huyula you take this province as well. Then Cajamarca, you fabricate claims on this. Then you keep this, so you can fabricate claims on Quito. Small stuff, right? So remember, you release Lima, then you actually take all of this. Once you actually have the claims, you attack this guy, then you actually feed these lands here, these 2 provinces to Lima, and you keep this land here, so you can actually fabricate the claims on this. Then once you fabricate claims on this, you feed the land again to Lima and attack this guy, etc, 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 etc. From back to front. There's nothing much to say on this side. Now, if you're actually stuck and you have downtime, you move to this side here. This side should be your secondary focus, mainly because I said before, you want to move on to the Aztecs. So, for the Cola side, if you don't want to do the cheeky stuff that I said before, just do it standard. So basically, fabricate claims on Macaya and Puno. Take Macaya and Puno. Then this is kind of big. When you take Macaya and Puno, remember to basically I'll have an ally in Charca and feed Charca the province of Huambo. And then you're gonna attack Pacahanes. Yeah? Then you're gonna attack Pacahanes and take some of their lands here. My recommendation is to basically feed all of, not all of, feed the province of Ouro to the Charca. So the next time you declare war on them, you're gonna fabricate claims on the Charca, on these 3 provinces of the Charca here. Then you're gonna actually declare war again on the Pacahanes, etc. And you move so forth on and so forth on. Right, so you move from province to province so that you won't waste points. Remember, if a province has, let's say, 3 development, just use the points for it. Or if you actually want to move faster, for example, if you really wanted to move faster and have more claims on the Charca, you probably would want to take the full amount of the Pacahanes by using Diplo points. Again, it's up to you. I don't recommend wasting points, but again, you want to basically reform faster, so it's somewhat recommended to take them. Although try to save as many at many points as possible. I'll do maybe a Cusco campaign. To be honest, this shouldn't take long. Yeah, it shouldn't take long, to be honest. Like 10 episodes, 15 episodes should be really easy to make. I'll do it in this weekend if I have time. I cannot promise you this. If I have time, I'll do a Cusco campaign just to show you how fast you can be and how aggressive you can be. But yeah, let's recap so you remember. You take Makaya, you take Puno, and you feed Kuhyambo to Charka. They're gonna be your ally. Then you attack Pakahanes. You attack the Pakahanes, but you have a claim on their capital. You attack Pakahanes, you take their capital, and you feed perhaps the rest of the Pakahanes to Charka. Then you move on to, although you can probably do something else here. It's a little bit tricky. Everything is a little bit tricky to me. You can do this, although you actually won't be able to fabricate claims and it's gonna be a little bit difficult. You can probably release Pakahanes, right? So you can release Pakahanes if you feed all of the Charka lands to feed all of the Charka lands. You can feed all of the Pakahanes lands to Charka. Right, so you can feed all of those lands to Charka, and you can release Pakahanes if you don't want to release Kola. Again, whatever you do, it's up to you, to be honest. This is gonna save you some more points because you have a CB on these lands here, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult because you will not be able to actually fabricate a claim on Kalhui. Because if you want to take the province of Chicas for yourself, you'll have to pay Diplo points, and if you actually give this land to the Pakahanes, to Pakahes, basically, the Pakahanes, I think they're in North America, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not even gonna check right now. If you actually want to feed lands, to feed these lands to Oruro and Wilkas to Pakahanes, you won't be able to take this land here because you won't be able to core it. But again, this is speculative. I'm really not sure. The best option is to go for the first option and just go for a simple core. You can actually check this in the pist. Actually, you can't check this in this deal. Yeah, you can check in the first pist deal because it's impossible. Yeah, and then you move on to from trench warfare to trench warfare until you basically take all of this. It's quite simple, to be honest. There's nothing much to say for the early game. I will call this early game because, to be honest, in this patch it's gonna take you it's gonna take you 25 years, maybe 30 years, to be honest. It shouldn't take you that much time. I did it once in 18 years, but this was pre truce between what's it called? Between I forgot. Pre-truce before the time when you actually if you break your alliance right now, you're gonna get a truce. Before that, it didn't happen, so I can use the cheeky stuff on both the north side and the south side, and have it been really easy for me to basically form vassals. Right now it's hard to do, but I did it in 18 years, basically took all over these lands here, and kept them as a vassal, of course. Remember this, I kept them as a vassal. I could like, although, did I actually integrate them? I might have actually integrated because when I did it, there wasn't an actual cost in Diplo points for province. It was just the 10 years, so you can 10 years integration. That was a year and a half ago, a long time ago. But yeah, this is the early game. Now let's go for the mid game. For the mid game, you'll basically make colonies on this land here. Here, you're gonna move from this and all the way to basically Aztecs. This is gonna take you a while. That's why I told you to basically rush the north side. While you do this, take care of the Muisca as well. Like, why should you wait? They have a decent amount of development, so you should probably take them yourself. whether you make them a vassal or not is again it's up to you. To make them a vassal, you'll need to fully annex them and release them, which is gonna be really easy. Sometimes these guys here tend to move to the east, to the west, sorry, to the west, as the west, and they're gonna arrive on the borders with Muisca. So they might be conquered by Muisca, or they might actually, you're gonna conquer them and feed them to Muisca yourself. This is up to you, if they are nearby. Or you can just, yeah, you're gonna have the core creation cost minus 10%. With the fabrication of the claim, that's gonna be another 10%. So it's still possible, basically, to take all of this and core it yourself. Right, so it's still possible. It's the same waste of points, but again, I don't recommend wasting admin points and just waste diplo points because they're useless. At least for actually they're pretty much useless for the entirety of the game. Like you don't really need that much diplo tech. Now, on this side here, I recommend going with vassal as well. Vassals as in the Inca region, in the Peru region, right? As Peru, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Peru. Yeah, it's Peru. Yeah, Upper Peru, etc. It's Peru. So the Peru region. It's actually show you so that you don't see. See, it's the region of Peru and Upper Peru. Yeah. So, okay, why do we call it Upper Peru if it shouldn't be Lower Peru? Like if Peru is up top here, it shouldn't be this Lower Peru. It's just me. Now, let's go back to Mexico, right? It's Mexico. So let's go back to Mexico. Recommendations here, depending on the situation that these nations are in, just release a vassal and vassal feed him lands and lands and lands. Work with 2 vassals or 1 vassal. It's up to you how you want to play it, but you are gonna have a decent amount of ways to attack. Like, there's gonna be a decent amount of ways to attack. You don't have CBs though. Yeah, you won't have free CBs unfortunately. If you had free CBs, you could have taken this land really easily. But unfortunately you don't have CBs. So yeah, just vassal feed everything, and by the time you actually finish this, you should probably be aiming for westernization. The first guys who arrive here should be Portugal. Right, so Portugal should arrive around this area here. So basically focus on going this way, and on going this way, or this way. Now if you can actually look at the... what should I look at? That's geographical. Simple terrain, no, that's terrain, simple terrain. Yeah, climate, bigger climate. So as you can see here, this is tropical, and you lose settlers and stuff. And you don't get that much settlers because you don't have the tech. So my recommendation is go like this, then like this, then like this, then like this, then you get to Santa Catarina, then you move from this. I know it's gonna be painful, but you have to move through them like this, then slowly move up the coast till you reach this part here, till you reach basically a colony of Spain or Portugal. Another way, if they form colonies here, it's if they form colonies and go like this, you basically won't actually know where they're going. They may actually go like this and form colonies in the Caribbean, but as you can see here, these things are tropical, and you're gonna have to pay a decent amount of points. So tropical, it's quite depressing. Like, yeah. So it's gonna take you a while to basically get settlers there. So they might actually arrive somewhere around here in Guarija, or let's say Curacao, or somewhere in this region here. So you can actually westernize from this side. Again, you never know how the AI will act, so try to basically focus on the both sides with the priority on this side here. Right. So first here, then if you have a spare, go here. and move on from there. Then you westernize. As for states, and reminder, states, come on, regions, really, my bad, there we go, regions. As you can see, they are somewhat big, although you have pretty low base tax in some of them, like 3.3, 4.33, 3.357 is basically shit, right? So it's kind of boring, to be honest. Like, you won't have good lands to have a good number of states on, which is really gonna be depressing, and you're gonna be really low on cash. So again, you have to suffer through it. There's nothing much you can do. You're gonna have to supplement your actual states with the territories and have tons of them. Like, pretty much, I feel sad, to be honest. Like, playing this and having to basically form a colony with a huge amount of cash, because they cost you like 1 ducat per month or something like that. I still don't know how much is. Let's actually check, to be honest. Take 30, I don't care. Take 10, 12, there we go, take 12, all of the techs are 12. And we take an idea. Yeah, expression ideas. Let's see, what is the actual cost? Wait, I have a colorist. Right, native quality, my bad. As for native quality, to be honest, it's up to you how it go. And native overchance, native stimulation. I go for whatever the fuck you want, to be honest. It's up to you. I really don't care. Whatever you actually does really matter, because you won't have the text. So go for the basically the policy, the native average adjustment 100%. So they actually won't actually uprise. Although this is kind of risky, if you actually maintain some troops there, it's gonna be fine. But yeah, let's take this and see the actual cost. 13 days. Come on. One guy's not bad. I know, fuck you. Fuck you. No, fuck you. Let's see. Let's actually see the cost for, yeah, 2 ducats. 2 ducats for Nazca. So you basically have to pay 2 ducats for a huge amount of time for tree development. I say, it brings a shiver down my spine, to be honest. Pay that much cash for some lowly province. So yeah, paradox. Should really do some stuff here. Like, it's really troublesome. Like, you have to pay so much cash for such a shitty development. But yeah, where were we? Yeah, with states. Remember, you have shitty provinces, so you're gonna have shitty states and shitty income. So try to supplement them with territories. There's nothing much to say, to be honest. By the time we actually start westernizing and you have taken off Mexico, you should probably be you should probably be blobbing out by now, and the war should be your oyster. Whatever or wherever you want to go, it's up to you. You might want to go into basically, let's see, you might want to go into this area here, into Africa, because you have the colonists, etc. You want to move into Africa, then India, and switch trade from this area here, which is really gonna be good for you, because you're gonna be strapped for cash due to the fact that you won't have that much cash from your provinces, as I said before, due to the crap development. But yeah, you're gonna be strapped for cash there. At the same time, these guys here are somewhat not united. As you can see, they're pretty scattered around, so it's gonna be difficult for you to basically fully unify them. Again, just try to slowly unify them, province by province, etc., and try to kick out the English out of the North Americas, the Castilians, the Spanish, from the South America or the Caribbean, etc. But yeah, this is it for Cusco. There's pretty much nothing more to say. It's a really easy country to play as if you have some experience in the game, especially if you want to basically just go conquer stuff. Remember to use as many diplomatic points as you want. Another way to do it, to be honest, you can use the 25%, although it's not used. No, it's not good right now. I was talking about the permanent claims that you're gonna get when you form the Incas, but those permanent 25% claims are only useful when you're actually doing your first core. If you want to make it into a state, that 25% permanent claim is not gonna go into account. So basically, you get only 12.5% from that permanent claim, which is basically cheating you out of your points. So it's really shameful, to be honest. Shameful. Shame. I don't have a bell right now to just use it. But yeah, it's some stuff needs to be checked and rebalanced, especially annexation of your vassals, which is really hard to calculate right now. I'll just go into a rant. I don't need this right now, to be honest. I don't want to go into a rant, but yeah, some stuff need to be recalculated by Paradox. And with this, I bid you farewell. And remember, if you want to form the Incas, Cusco is your best nation to form the Incas as. There's nothing much to say about this. They have the location, they have the troops, they have the generals, they have the leaders, they have the points, they have everything that you want to form the Incas. If you actually want to go for the lesser nation to actually form the Incas, go for the Ichima. For the Ichima. It's actually, yeah, they should be able to form, right? Yeah, they have the Cuenca, so they can actually form. They can form the Incas themselves. So if you want to go for a challenge in forming the Incas, go for Ichima. It's gonna be quite difficult, to be honest, to form the Incas if you want the difficulty. But yeah, this is it. This is all there is for the Cusco, and that's it. I bid you farewell, and remember, if you like this episode, try to consider subscribing to see more of the Inca situations, or if you want to watch all of my Inca situations that I have, for example, the Polish Inca situation, the English, which is really, again, another cheeky strategy on the English side. It's a really cheeky one with the HRE emperorship and splitting France and having a P over France. It's really OP England. But yeah, this is it all for Cusco. If you like, consider liking the video. If you like the video, consider liking it or subscribing. Bye guys.